Hello, friends. Welcome to my little presentation about fundamental spiritual geometry. My name is Eric. This is me. If we want to understand the quality of reality, we should go to the beginning because here the circumstances are simple. This would be the absolute nothing, which is actually not existing because it is the extreme and therefore infinite. So, to be able to develop things, we preset the self-to-self relation in a distance of 1 in a loop. The following relations are stable because double size of 1 is always double size of 1, independent of the real size of 1. So the question is how something can be created from nothing. And this is only possible if the source is spirit. From here, consciousness can develop itself and ideas are coming up from the, so to say, infinite ocean of ideas, which is the absolute everything. The self-to-self relation loop creates a simulation which supports an answer to the question who or what am I. And the first ideas could be to be a wall or to be a sphere, created as a projection in the self-to-self relation. To define the thickness of the wall, we need a number system, and here we make a jump and preset the 10 system. Could be any other, but now the thickness of the surfaces is defined as a 10th of 1, and if we now match the wall and the sphere, we get phi. And this symbol reminds us a little bit to a cell division. Mathematically viewed, phi is 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1, and so on. And this also reminds to a permanent cell division. And if we connect life with cell division, we could come to the conclusion that life ever existed, right? So to make things more simple, we set aside the sphere and focus on the wall. Now we can show the thickness of the wall in the milestone projection, which is the 90-degree projection. Then we get a new wall in the background which is matching, and we create the new milestone projection, here the top view, and we get the cross. We create a new wall in the background, take the milestone projection, which is the perspective view, and get the coordinate cross with the center point. If we now play with 0 and 1 and create corresponding walls, then we get the 8 cube formation, which we can call home house. And in our home house, we can connect the edges and cross points and get formations like the equilateral tetrahedron, the rectangle, side pike, central pike tetrahedron, the star tetrahedron, the octahedron, and the cube in cube. Furthermore, we can divide cubes from the outside into a 2 or 3 pattern by connecting the cross points of the diagonals. But we cannot divide a cube from the outside into a 5 pattern just by using geometry, and this is a special character of the number 5 and could probably have a meaning for example, filtering functions. These considerations are leading to multi-space structures which we want to make visible. Therefore, we need tools like, for example, the simulated spin. By using the diagonals of the cubes, we create a new coordinate system and a new cube with new walls along the axis of the new coordinate system. And this supports the illusion of a spin in a 45-degree angle in the following projection. Furthermore, we can remove the home house into the cube-in-cube formation, which creates a centralization of the corresponding rectangle tetrahedron. The opposite tetrahedron formation is expanded into outer space, but we put this aside and focus on the contraction of the tetrahedron formations in the center. If we centralize all tetrahedron formations in the home house, then we get this picture as expression of the contraction. And we also could construct this with cubes, but here we see the nice crown, and the vortex is stronger with tetrahedron formations. So this is the top view, and we can spin the whole object in a 45-degree angle along the z-axis and get this formation with vortex character due to the contraction and the spin. Then we connect the cross points here in red, which are coming up due to the spin, and then we get a square circle here in gray. This is the top view, and we see the spinned cube in the center, which we can use as a new start for the next cycle in the process of the vortex event to repeat the contraction and the spin in the smaller cube. The same procedure with the x-axis and the y-axis. Then we get a ball made of squares, and this is the perspective view. We make a jump again and change colors, and if we remove the corona and keep the cross points connected, then we get this wonderful Da Vinci diamond, which Leonardo da Vinci drew already 500 years ago. Really interesting. Anyway, this formation is connecting geometry and the strong vortex energy along the three axes. And naturally, it's also important to discuss data storage, because without data storage, there is no history, no present, and no future. And we do not know how nature finally is doing this. But if I would be responsible, I would take the home house, create the corresponding coordinates. Here's the side view. And then we can take, and this as data storage machine. We can create symbols, runes, letters, and numbers, whatever. And if we connect home houses in series, then the data storage capacity is infinite. And if the target of nature is to simulate the absolute everything, then it has no reason to delete any data. The word simulation should not be evaluated negative. It is creating reality. So, fundamental spiritual geometry followed by multi-space structures can be found in 3D analogies of logos from companies and organizations. The star Mercedes is a good example. We take the home house, create a star tetrahedron with prolonged pikes in a 4-cube pattern, and make a cut in the center, and then we get the star Mercedes. And if we remove the half of the pikes, then we see a vortex effect, and the removed pikes create the opposite vortex. And this can be viewed in detail, but I would like to show the 3D analogy of another logo, which is the star of the OTAN organization. Here we find a simple multi-space structure. Again, we take the home house and create a cuboid. Here's the top view. Additionally, we create the cube in cube. And here we can build star tetrahedron formations with centralized pikes, like this one. Now, we match the cuboid and cube in cube structure, spin everything, and get a multi-space structure with little gaps. And one of these gaps is evident also in the logo of the OTAN organization. And this gap reminds me to a kind of accelerator or stabilizer gap for the vortex. However, we mark the home house, the cube in cube, and the star tetrahedron. And if we break open the home house correspondingly in the perspective view, then we see this formation, and in the top view we get the logo with a star, which is representing the connection between geometry and the strong vortex energy. So, in summary, we can say that the self-to-self relations which we have preset at the beginning are creating reality and consciousness. I hope you liked my little presentation. This is Eric, and I wish you a nice evening.